Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. It is Succulent Sunday today, so I brought out my mini bonsai bench and today I'll be working on these succulent trees. Here's a look at my bonsai bench, and I have a lot of my small jades and Portulacaria afras on the bench, so I'll be working on each of these trees today. I'm going to start the work today on my little miniature jade forest, which is on the middle of the bench here. Last year I added a cutting to the back of it to make an odd number of trees, and it's grown quite well. We had a very hot summer, and I had these trees in the poly house, so they were probably a little hot in there, so the growth kind of slowed down in the summer. But now that it's cooled off outside, they're all beginning to grow once again. I think if I lived in an apartment or had a very small space, I would grow my trees on a little bench like this, keeping all the trees small and miniature. Yeah, I really enjoy working on these little tiny trees. So I'm going to start by pruning up my little jade forest here. So I'm just having a look at it. I've definitely got a new shoot coming up here that's getting quite strong. And I have to think about the highest point in the forest, which will be this front tree here. I think, yeah, these branches back here, or leaves, are coming off the same tree. It kind of splits into a Y shape. So I'm going to prune this one back to these first set of leaves. So here I go, like that. This one out front can also be pruned. I've got a set of leaves down here, so I'll prune that to back. And then up top here, I've got some good strong growth. I can prune it back to here and back to here. That kind of shortens that section. I've got a good shoot growing here. I think I want to keep it, trying to use directional pruning. If I prune it above this leaf, the branch will come out the front. If I prune down lower, it'll come out to the side. I think I'll go lower on this one, down to here. And then this one's getting very tall, so I'll prune these back. And I think to here. And this one back to here, an outward facing leaf at the back. It's looking better. I could prune this one back a bit. To there. And then I have some longer branches at the back. I'll prune those back to here. And to here. And this one back to here. I've got most of the trees pruned up now. I haven't pruned this one too much. Doesn't need a lot of pruning, but I'll take it back to here. And this one I'll just take the growing tip out. Cause some subdividing to happen. I think that's about it. Let me just have a look at the forest now. This front branch is kind of blocking the view of the trunk line. I'm not sure, it's kind of crossing the trunk line too. I think I need to prune it back. I have a leaf facing outwards here. There is a little branch here too. I'll take this off for starters. And I think I need to take that whole branch off. So I'll just try and get in here, leaving this one on if possible. Like that. That looks good. And then I'll remove this leaf on the inside. And there's another one on the inside here. Like that. And I could probably get rid of this one.
This shows a bit more of the trunk line. Yeah, I'm not even sure I need this branch up front, but I'll keep it for now. Just cleaning out a bit of debris in there. Clean off my moss. And then if I go out back, I've got that new tree I added. I can prune off some of the lower leaves on it. So there's a view at the back. Dead leaf here I can take out. Yeah, I can take off these lower leaves on that back tree. Like that. And I think I can take off this second set of leaves, which are pretty big. Give me a little more height. You can see it didn't get as much light on the back of the forest here. So I'll have to put it in some better light so it gets a more even light on it. I think I'll keep it out here in the greenhouse. I may show these trees at the KW show. Got a little bit of fertilizer stains on the pot there. Yeah, so that is the little jade forest. So I originally got this forest from Matt of the KW Club. There's a few big leaves in here I could take out, like this one. So that comes out. There's a lower leaf here I can take out. And a couple here, old leaves. Here's a look at what I took off the jade forest. Quite a bit of foliage, and here's a look at it from above. So it still looks nice and full. So the next tree I'll work on is the little twin trunk jade up here. This jade got some nice colors. It's nice when they get a lot of sun and heat, they get these red tips on them. So there's a few big leaves here, some older leaves I can take off, so just prune those away. Let me get around here. There's one here, one here, and where was that other one? This one. These are older leaves, but I'm going to leave them on because they're quite colorful. And I don't think I need to do any tip pruning. They've grown very compact. Yeah, so that's all looking good. The moss is looking good. This is the same moss I've had on these trees since I showed it, which was probably 2 or 3 years ago. I'm thinking 3 years ago. Yeah, so the moss has done quite well. This little tree was started from a leaf cutting, and I just stuck the leaf in the pot and it's grown up quite nicely. So on this one I'm going to remove the lower leaves so you can see a bit of the trunk and branches. So I'll take this one off. I'll take this one off. And this one. And this one. These are very easy to care for plants too. They can go, at least a week without water at all. I'm trying to get this leaf off here, there. Yeah, and there's some out the back here I can take off. So you can see a little bit of the trunk on it now. I think I better take this one off. It's kind of touching the other plant, or the other side of the trunk there. And maybe this big one too. And this old one out front. And this one. We'll just keep the little mini leaves on it. Wow, is that ever tiny? But it's looking good. I like it. So beside that, I have my little Lilliput Portulacaria afras. So I'll prune those up next. So here's a look at this little forest. I did lose a trunk line on it. Portulacaria afras need a little bit more water than the Jades or the Crassulas. And you can see there's some dieback on these branches. They kind of went black and shriveled up just from heat and not enough water, I think. So I'm just kind of picking those out. And then I'm going to prune these up. So this one's getting very long. I'm going to take it back to here. I could go one further. Maybe I will, I think. Little miniature leaves there. Take that tip off and I'll get rid of this big leaf here. I think this tree's okay. It just needs a bit of cleanup. This one's getting quite long. I can come back to here at least. That's probably good. This one, I'll prune the top off. And I've got a little cutting there that I can plant. And this one, I'm just going to take the tip off here. And the back one, I'm going to prune it back to here. Back here, I can do a little bit of pruning. Maybe, yeah, it's pretty compact. But I will take this one branch back to here. I'm not sure what's going on here. There's a branch beside another one. I don't think I need that lowest branch there. I'm going to take it off. That clears the forest up a bit. Yeah, so I'll have to work on this one. It kind of suffered a bit this summer. I think I maybe have too many trees and it's hard to take care of them all. But, you know, at least they survived. I'm just clearing out some dead leaves in here. Yeah, that's all looking good. Okay, so that's got that little forest pruned up and the moss is looking pretty good on it. I'm going to plant the little Portulacaria afra cutting here. So I've got to pick out a pot. I've got several pots down here. These are the little ones that I made. Yeah, I've got quite a choice. I've got a purple pot back there. Some unglazed ones. I'm trying to think what would look good and some variety. I probably want something fairly deep. I've already got like a really tiny pot. This one would make this pot look quite large actually. Yeah, it's tough to decide. Maybe, I'm thinking maybe the purple one. It's a nice looking little pot. Okay, let's do that. Let's plant it in this purple pot here. So there's a look at the purple pot. It's got some fancy feet on it. I'm going to put a drainage screen in the bottom of the pot. And my Chris Marshall drainage screens are way too big, so I'm going to use this little window screen mesh. So I'll cut it out to about the right size. So it goes in the bottom of the pot. So I cut it out to a little oval. I think that goes in there quite nicely. Yeah, it does. There it is, see? You can see it in the bottom of the pot. And I'm going to use sand as a medium. Any bonsai soil would be a little too coarse, I think. So I'll get a little scoop of sand. Okay, let's fill the little pot up with sand now. Just below the lip of the pot. That's good. And then I can stick the little cutting in. So on the cutting, I will remove the lowest leaf here. And I think that's good. And then I'll just stick it kind of in the middle of the pot, planting it fairly deep. And I'll give it a watering. So I got my watering can right here. And there we go. That is planted. I think it looks quite nice in the purple pot. It's got a really nice glaze on it. Yeah, so that should grow quite well. Down here on the ground I have a jade that I got from Derek of the Toronto Club, and it's just in a plastic pot, so I think I'll put it in a ceramic pot today and prune it up. I'm thinking of planting it in this glazed pot I made here. It's also got some fancy feet on it. Yeah, it's quite a small pot, but I think the jade will look good in it. So the first step will be to get the jade out of the pot and just see how big the root system is on it. I've cleared off some space on the potting bench, so let's get the tree out of the pot. And I will just rake away some of the soil using my root rake. So there's the base of the cutting down here. So there's quite a bit of the trunk above the soil. So here is my new pot. I think I need to reduce that. Maybe I will have to cut this lower part off. Okay, I think I'll do that. Use my good sharp scissors and I'll come in. This still will be roots up top here, so here I go, big cut coming up. So there goes that piece. Now I can do a little more root rake work. Let me just get this cleared off here. So the size of my pot is here, so I need to reduce the edges back. It's not too hard. There was hardly any roots there anyway. There's lots of roots around the trunk. So because I've just made a new cut on the roots, I'll have to keep it on the dry side until the tree recovers. So let's see now. I think that's going to fit in the pot quite nicely. Just need to do a little more work. It's a little big at the back here. It's just the soil, it's not the roots. I think the roots will fit in here quite nicely. Get rid of some of this crumbly soil on the top here. Kind of losing all my moss. Oh well. New moss will grow. Okay. I think that's fitting in quite nicely. Let me have a look here. So I guess this would be the front. believe. Yeah. It's the nicest side of the pot. And I'll also add a bit of sand in here just to kind of fill in any spaces between the soil. Okay, a little bit of sand around the tree. And there's just a few roots in the back I'll have to trim. They're kind of sticking out a bit right here. That's better. I definitely need some more sand. It's kind of sunk down a bit. Let me just get my root rake. And I'll just make sure that soil's worked in. Okay. A little more sand now. A little more sand. Now I will water this just to settle the sand in, but then I'll let it dry out. So it shouldn't cause any root rot. So here I go. Just a light watering like that. And then I'll go back to the front of the tree and I'll do some pruning. Let me just clean up my bench here. Even though these trees are really tiny, with this bench and that, it makes you feel like you're working on full-size trees. It's a strange feeling. It's being in the bonsai zone. Okay, I'm going to prune the tree up now, so I'm going to take off this large leaf here. And this large leaf. And the one back here, and these ones up top. Just keeping my smaller leaves. And there's one back here. Like that. And then, just having a look at the tree. I think all is good with it. There's another big leaf here I could take off. Yeah, I think that's it. I think the tree's planted. Let me just clear off that sand from the pot. Yeah. So there's a look at that jade. Come over just a bit here in the pot. More like that, just to balance it a bit. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, there's another little mini jade planted. So let's get all the trees back on the bench and take a final look for today. It is time for a bench tour now. So here it is. So I've got the new one I repotted here, which is a Crassula, jade, and then a jade forest. And these are cuttings off Connor's old jade. So I have some very large examples of the same tree. And the new little one in the purple pot here. Up top, my Lilliput PAs. And a jade here. Gollum jade, I think. And then another Crassula twin trunk planting. Yeah, so that's the bench tour for today.
I sure enjoyed working on my little mini succulent bonsai. And that's all for this Succulent Sunday. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.